broadcast. Brad Smooth Draws, and welcome to the Cigar Guys radio show today.
Thanks a lot, guys. It's great to be here.
Hey, Brad, as we ask all of our guests, when did you enjoy your first cigar, and do you remember the experience surrounding that first cigar?
Wow, that's a tough question right there, because I probably had my first cigar back in the 70s when I was in the service, and I couldn't even tell you what that cigar was.
You're dating yourself now.
Uh-oh. But
are people now calling you sir?
Some do.
Yes.
Some do. The gray hair gives it away, absolutely.
So you started smoking cigars in the service?
I was just a casual smoker back then. Going out with the buddies, bowling and drinking or whatever. We'd have a cigar every once in a while. But it was my wife that really got me into smoking cigars more often. On our Friday night date nights after dinner, she would go next door and pick me up a cigar and bring it back over to the restaurant we would frequent, and she would bring me a variety of different cigars every week. I think I really got hooked when I really first got my first San Cristobal. It was probably the first time I really just went, wow, that's a great cigar.
And how long ago was that?
Probably back 2008 or 9, I would imagine.
And that's when you really became an enthusiast.
That's when I became totally addicted.
We don't want to use that expression. Hey, you recently launched your new brand. We're very proud of you. We've known Brad for a few years. He lives here in Atlanta, and it's called Xiphos, spelled Xiphos. And the Cigar Guys radio show does their research and homework, and we learned that Xiphos means a double-edged, one-handed, iron-aged, straight, short sword. Say that one fast. Used by the ancient Greeks. Is that what you intended the name to be? And I'm looking at your, we'll talk about it in a minute, your packaging has 2 crossed swords on it.
Yes, it does. And that was the intention. We were looking for a brand that might stand out a little bit. There's very few cigar brands out there that begin with a letter X. So we thought that would be a great marketing tool for us to use to get our brand out there and get some brand recognition. And not to mention the Greeks at one time pretty much ruled the world.
Hey, Brad, how did you decide to launch your own line of cigars? And is it in an already crowded market?
Well, we started off just opening up a distribution and importing business. We thought we were going to be able to help out some of the small boutique brands that we were encountering at some of the events that didn't seem to have any distribution. But after trying quite a few brands and failing to, get them in the market because there was such an influx of new cigars, we decided we'd just go ahead and come up with our own brand, try something a little bit different with some different blends that people weren't using.
Brad, tell us a little about the background of where the cigars are made and the blend that makes up the Xiphos cigars.
Well, this cigar that we're smoking today is a small, short panatelle of mixed fillers, which is made in the Puriscal factory in Costa Rica. We're not using any Costa Rican tobaccos. We're using an Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper and a Peruvian binder with some mixed fillers of Peruvian, Ecuadorian HDA Corojo, some Dominican and Nicaraguan fillers.
And I'm gonna smoke that later. Right now, Alan and I are doing our Cigar of the Week taste testing on the Avo Synchro. But, we're going to be here till 10 o'clock tonight, Brad, and I've smoked your cigar before. I really enjoy it. But now we'll smoke it when we're, unadulterated with a million other cigars and we're sitting and relaxing.
Hey, Brad, we noticed that the packaging on your cigar is in a can, not the traditional cigar box. Why did you decide to go with a can package?
Well, we found that the can was not only economical, but it's totally recyclable. And the thing about the can is it keeps the cigars fresh without humidification for at least 15 months. We haven't done any tests for a duration longer than that, but we know that it keeps them fresh for up to 15 months without any humidification at all. And this makes it very easy for shipping as well, because they're packed very tightly, a nice little foam pad on the bottom and the top of the can with a cedar lining in the can, which keeps them nice and fresh. And as soon as you open the can, you can smoke a cigar right off the truck.
Brad, as a cigar maker, even, you just launched your first cigar, you have to be thinking of the future. Do you have plans to launch more blends, and what might we expect from Brad Longanecker and your company?
Well, as a matter of fact, we are working on another blend right now in Nicaragua, and I'll be down there in just a few days working with Noel Rojas of Guayacán Cigars. He's helping me blend another, probably going to be a Puro from Nicaragua, and hopefully a Maduro as well.
And we know Noel. He makes really good cigars.
Yes, he does.
Hey, Brad, where can we find your cigars right now? I know they've been recently launched, but where can our listeners find them?
Well, right now we're in a few stores here in Atlanta. We're at Jay's Cigar on DeForest Ferry, Cigar Merchant in Roswell, Truly Cigars in Marietta, and just a couple other places. I don't have my list with me right now, unfortunately.
No, that's okay. And how can people find you? Do you have an internet site?
We do have a website right now. It's still under construction at xiphoscigars.com. You can find some information there about the blend, and you can find what locations are available here in Atlanta.
Well, Brad, thank you for joining the Cigar Guys radio show today at our live remote at Cigar City Club. We look forward to smoking your cigars a little later today. We wish you all the best.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure being here.